Hello and welcome back to Design, Create, Innovate. Today I am going to be making a drum sander to add to my collection of sanders, and I think this is really quite a useful tool and I'm excited to build it and then use it. So I shall start as always by collecting my materials. I'm not really going to get all my materials in one, I'm just going to get them as I need them. So one of the first bits that I've got to prepare is the actual drum that moves, and it'll be powered by a drill. So this drum will be covered in sandpaper and it has to be circular, so I'm just using some pole. The pole is going to be 15 centimeters long, and I'll just cut it to size on the hand miter saw. There needs to be something sticking out the end of this pole here, so I'm going to just cut two little pieces of threaded rod to size off camera to get stuck into there. These two pieces off camera, so they are basically both the same height. This will have the drill attached to it because that piece is thinner. They've both got two holes drilled into them, so we've got the hole that the threaded rod is currently in at the moment, and then we also have another hole there, so it's basically got two heights that it can go at. So now I need to make the base. There were a few options for the base, but I just had a rummage in my scraps and I found this. So this is a piece of particle board, but it's covered in veneer, which means that this top is really smooth and it will allow the wood to run over it really easily. So I'm just going to mark the positions of these blocks on here and then just screw it all together. So now that looks nice and secure. I've just noticed something kind of daft that I've just done. So I've put in both these blocks, but I've secured this in with it. So I know it's not ideal, but each time I want to change the depth on this, I think I'll just unscrew these two screws and get this off. So this is probably going to be a bit more of a two-man tool because I haven't made a base for the drill because it's got two different depths. But I'm just going to try and give it a go and see how it works. Okay, so it seems to be working just like I wanted it to. It's moving around quite a lot on this bench top here, but I think I will attach it to my other bench. But before I do that, I've got to cover this in sandpaper. So unfortunately, I didn't check before I started filming this video if we had a whole brand new sheet of sandpaper left, and we don't. So I've just found it's not the best piece of sandpaper. I've definitely used it before, but it's decent and it's big enough to cover this entire thing. So I am going to attach it on with some hot glue. now that I've got this covered in sandpaper, I can assemble it once more. I forgot to mention earlier, but I'll just say it now anyway. I'm going to put a washer on each of these threaded rods, so there isn't any friction between the pole and the main supports. So I'm just about to do the final, the first test, but I noticed when I'm moving my hand, it's really not moving. So what I reckon is happening, somewhere on the pole is biting on these pieces of wood. So what I'm going to do is get the pole out, and I'm going to file a chamfer or sand a chamfer onto the edges of this pole. Probably a bit hard to make out on camera, but I'm definitely managing to chamfer that just using the homemade disc sander. So I'm ready for another test. The only thing that I've changed is I have removed the piece of thread rod from this side because it was really catching, and it was making the sander quite difficult to use. So to be honest, I can probably even remove this piece, but I'm just going to give the sander a go. Oh dear, right, well that piece was a little bit too big because it just made the entire thing move. I think I'll just go and clamp it to the bench. Okay, attempt 2. Okay, that seems to be working much better. I wasn't actually using it properly because I was giving this a bit of lift because it wasn't really the exact height, so I'll just try and find another piece of wood that is the exact height. Okay, so I found a piece of wood that is the exact height. Oh, this is another one of those soundproof boards from that build, but I'll just try it now. So I am going to let go of it. So it is moving it slowly. It's definitely sanding it. Okay, so it could definitely work better, but I am really happy with how this has turned out. If you have liked today's video, please feel free to like and subscribe. That is the best thing that you can do to support me. I think that's the tutorial done for today. So I'll see you on my next build.